Florida. What is up?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. How's it going?
He's the Key West guy, right?
No,
No, I'm
he's in D-Land.
Volusia County.
Okay, I
Volusia County.
Yeah.
apologize. Dude,
Yeah, it's
I'm
okay.
old, man. You can write off Benji. I'm just old, man. Sorry.
No,
It's
he's
okay.
up.
I got the right state. That's
he's
it,
up.
because he told me.
D-Land. I think he's in D-Land, right?
Deltona.
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 Same thing at that
Yeah.
point.
Always sounds like Daytona. They just throw an
Yeah,
EL in
you
there.
Well, it's
got
by Daytona.
Daytona, D-Land, Deltona, DeBerry. Yeah, the
Yeah, I
land
can't
of
do
D's.
What's
Yeah.
up, man? How can I help you out?
Got really good news, man. I'm under contract with that lead I've been following up with June. So
Wow.
yeah, man. It's well, I'm not fully under contract yet. I got 2 signatures. The other one, he works 50 hours a week, night shift. So I'm getting him tomorrow. So but it went great. And this is the one that has the pre-foreclosure. And I talked to them. They don't have an auction date set yet. So it went good yesterday. I met with the aunt and one of the heirs, the son. He's 22, walked through the house. I had a really good conversation, 80-20 rule, like you guys said, just ask good questions, listen, understand, and repeat back. And I had a blast talking to them. I almost had to divert it a little bit because I was just having too much fun talking to them. But so then today told her that I'd like to sit down with the other heir, the eldest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better and present my offer. And then it was good. And I locked it up, man. So I'm happy.
Well, you just missing one signature?
Just one. So
Okay.
I spoke to the title company that I'm using. They can do, and for this deal, I locked it up pretty good. So I feel I should do a double close. The only thing is the 4 heirs, like I said, one of them is incarcerated. So the title company told me that we can open the escrow and stuff like that, and they can start running the title and stuff, but we just can't physically close on the property until they have the durable power of attorney over him to sign. So
okay. So just let you know, I've had deals stretch out where I actually got that final signature, that missing person, on the day of the closing, if you can believe that or not. Sometimes people just take time. Let me ask you, is that missing person, or this, have you talked to him or the family's talked to him?
The one that's incarcerated?
Yes.
Yeah, they talk to him pretty much like every day.
And he sounds like he's on board?
Yeah. So initially I spoke to the eldest, and she was done dealing with them because they didn't want to work together.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then
that.
I went to the house. I talked to the brother and the aunt, and then I came back to her today, and she's like, I don't know how you did it. I've been trying to get them to work for like 2 years and stuff like that. And she's like, thank you for helping me out. She's like, I feel like I'm finally like, I can, release my stress and stuff like that. So she was just thanking me. And then with the offer, I did the good cop, bad cop thing. So I was like, listen, my partner said like, he wanted this at this, but I said, I listened to your aunt and your brother and stuff like that. And I said, it really touched my heart. So I was able to talk him up to this amount. And she's like, that's awesome. That was more than I was expecting to get. So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome, dude. Just make sure, don't let too much time go by if
Yeah.
he's hot on calling, and just, when I tell you guys, like, overcome resistance with persistence, it's not just like getting lists, government lists specifically, is everything we do. Like, if I told you how many hundreds, if not thousands, of sellers that I couldn't get to sign, we're always missing one party. I've done as many as 40 parties in a probate, specifically probates. And you just, listen, I get it. You got to first learn how to be a master marketer, how to connect with these people, what to say. And then when you get in front of them, you got to learn the negotiations, and then the art of getting signatures. Man, like, you get to handle it. This won't be the last time you deal with it. I deal with this constantly. Do you know I've gotten on a plane to go get a signature because some people just get so difficult? But I had enough money on the line. It was worth, like, that was probably foolish at the time. Now, knowing this, I would do like a mobile notary, something like that. But
right.
you guys, you've got to just keep, like, every time a problem comes up, you're like, okay, you're being paid these ridiculous amount of money on these wholesale deals because you're the only one that can figure out how to solve the problem. And you got to do it in a timely manner. And sometimes you just can't solve it. I get it. But like, everyone like thinks, you just see little bits in the beginning, like just getting lists, like, oh my God, he said no. I'm like, are you going to accept that answer and just keep moving down the line? So if I have 4 parties on a deal and then one just starts like stiff arming him and stuff, the other 3 usually stress out. You're never going to convince him or her to do it. And then I go, listen, tell me everything I need to know about that person and what do they love and like what is their biggest pet peeve with the deal. You take that information, you just brainstorm and you just keep going back to them. And I've visited people 5 or 6 times just to get that signature. He's done it. He did one when he was really in his first year or 2. I forget. He went and saw, how long he saw the lady? Like 30 times, like an insane amount. I'm like, man, I go, at some point, you got to call it a day. He's like, he used to tell me, I'm not stopping until I get that deal. I go, man, do I got the right partner. And that's what you guys got to understand. We, as a business wholesalers, we just learn not to take no. It's not like you can't force anyone to do it. You just got to kind of keep going back and just keep going and going and going. And you're right. Get the paperwork over to your title company. Get it started as soon as possible. Get the payoffs. Get everything. Find out if there's any problems. Get it taken care of. But that's awesome because you've experienced all this stuff. It's just like you just keep going through these roadblocks, and eventually you're like,
like I mean, there was points where I was just like, there was points where I was like, man, this is like tough. Like, do I just keep going? Like, what do I do? And I just kept going, man. Like, here's
what I always operated and how I've taught him. Just keep going until the door's slammed in your face and it has to be locked. I never give up. I keep going. Like sometimes I run out of energy. Like I did a 7-year stint and it was a lot. It was too much, but I was so good at it. And I look back now, like that was stupid to go that long. But like I fast forward now, I think God put me in a place where I could help teach you guys better. And it allowed me to focus on teaching him. And the one thing I learned with Zach is I just got down to the basics. Like, here's what we're going to do. Very simple instructions. Do this, follow up, and just keep going and driving forward. And that's why I'm able to share this information with you. Honestly, I didn't even think it was that brilliant until he kind of showed me. He goes like, man, the stuff you teach me is like, it's unbelievable. I'm like, well, not everybody feels that way. And then you have this skill set. So when it comes up again, you're like, dude, I got this. Yeah. So I had one about a year ago, 26 people on a probate. And I was just like, man. And one guy stepped up. He goes, I'm in control of these 24. You deal with these 2. I'm like, perfect. So that's what I do every time. If you have, say, 6 people, say, which ones do you like have an agreement with? I go, well, these 5 are locked up. If you can help me with this one, because he doesn't even talk to me. And then you go, okay. You go, tell me a little bit of intel about him. Do your research on social media and then just run with it. But this is an extremely common problem. And I'm here to tell you guys, sometimes when you have, say there's 2 parties, I'm not talking about husband and wife. They should be done at the same time. But say there's 2 owners on a property. If one agrees and the other one you're waiting to get consent on, go ahead and get the one signature. I know it's not complete, but you do kind of get the deal like locked up mentally with one of them, because remember, it takes 2 of them to sell it. So if one signs it and one doesn't, you can use the other person to help you convince that person why it's a good deal. Right. Walking away with 0 signatures gives you really no options, in my opinion. So I don't do that with a husband-wife type of deal. But if I have like business partners and one's like remote, can't do it, I'll get one. I go, let me go ahead and get your signature, and we get his when we get to that point. So so you can do that one too.
Thankfully, I built enough rapport with him yesterday, so I'm just going to meet him tomorrow because he's already on board. He just works. Just a couple questions. So with this one, since I locked it up good with the double close, any advice? What should be any special clauses for the end buyer contract for that?
So I mean, why are you so dead set on a double close?
I don't know, because I just feel like I have it locked up at a good price. I mean, I'll try to get it assigned.
So without giving addresses, don't do that. How much you got it locked up for?
160.
And what do you think it's really worth? Like what do you think the value? What do you think you can sell it for is my question.
I think I'm able to sell it to a cash buyer for probably 230, 240.
Okay. That's definitely double close material, but I'm here to tell you, like, you guys that are scared like to do like straight up assignments, the only person that is at risk are really, in my opinion, it's 9 times out of 10 the buyer. Okay, because the sellers, listen, they know you're making a profit. And number 2, you realize everybody can look up this information. So the only reason I've ever done a double close is to satisfy the new buyer. So at least leave the option for your title company. Because there is nothing illegal about assigning a property. There is nothing illegal about it. It's not shameful. I got a lot of people go, well, if it's over 20 grand, I'm going to double close it. I'm like, you're just giving money away if that's your number, because I've seen them in the 6 figures assigned with no issue at all. So I would only cater that option unless you're getting direct flack back from your buyer or your seller. And if everybody's on board and stuff like that, I'm just here to tell you, you can move it forward.
Okay.
Don't be stuck on it. If you can only find one buyer and he's a pain in your butt or she's a pain in your butt, then I get it. You can do the double closing. But remember, it's twice the cost. And that's the big problem with it. So you're going to give away $4,000 to $5,000 extra when you do that. And that's why I'm not a fan of double closings. It's perfectly legal to do assignment, especially in the state of Florida. So don't precondition your title company as I'm only doing it this way. And number two, if you're going to do a double, say, what kind of discount do I get on the second closing? You want to make sure you get the cheaper fees and your buyer pays the higher one. So when you're buying it on the A to B, is they'll have a set amount of fees. So you can't do anything about the state of Florida recording fees, but the settlement fee from the title company is wide open. And by the way, not all title companies' fees are like one set number. They break them down to like 9 different categories. It's to confuse the heck out of you guys. They get underwriting fee, utility lien search fee. It's all. So add up all the numbers and understanding the second one, you should get a substantial discount. So you want to make sure you're getting the discount on yours, on your HUD. So remember, your buyer, technically, if they're going to be buying, they would pay their settlement fees anyways. So you just want to keep yours to a minimum. Whenever I do 2 closings, and I don't do a lot of, like, I do them because I bought the property and I kept it and I sold it for a while. I always make sure I get it discounted. You don't want to pay retail twice for them.
It's true.
So ask them, listen, what's the fees going to be when you do it? And here's what I say. I try to pass everything I can off to the buyer. So sometimes they go, listen, here's the recording fees. You can't ask them to negotiate that because they have to pay it. But I'll charge you $350 on the. I'll charge you $495 on the first settlement, and the second one's going to pay this. Here's a little thing. Your new buyer is make sure they pay the higher fees and you get the discounted fees. You can control all that, by the way. So leave your box open with the title company and have a discussion with them. If you guys are doing double closings, you should be getting discounts because why? You just doubled the title company.
Their income. Right.
Okay. You can't do anything about recording fees, and that's the painful part. But the second title purchase, there's a 50, they usually get a 50 to 60% discount. Make sure you're getting that discount. And then on the settlement fees, just get them reduced. Because if not, a lot of these companies charge you $1,100, $1,200 settlement fee. Guys, I get settlements done for $300 all the time in Florida. Okay. If you do not ask what the fees are and then you complain them at the closing, that's your fault. You always should know what your title company's fees, and they should be consistent. The reality is most title companies will charge as much as they can get away with as long as nobody complains. If you ever complain at a title company, I can almost cut anyone's title settlement fee down 50% just with one complaint. Gotcha. Did you know they have to legally disclose all their fees? They're supposed to do it 48 hours before the closing. They never do it with wholesalers. So don't wait till you do a couple hundred deals, like figure it out in your first couple, and you can go from there.
All right, cool. One last question pertains to the show today. For the triple threat system, let's say you got a list of like 150. How many times do you hit it until you just get a no or a yes? Pretty much.
I've hit it once. Hit it once with all 3. I think
right. That's what I'm saying. But how many times should you go through it if you're not getting traction? And then
I'll just add volume.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like you put a stick. It's hard. Multiple sticky notes won't work. You just got to do one, right? Right. Because either they see it, they don't want to deal with it, or you can call them again. I would just add volume on top of it.
Okay. Simple enough.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's all I had, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Keep us updated and get that signature and hit it. Yeah, that's a great job.
Right.
Awesome. Congrats.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.